What's up, class? This is my uncle Dustin. Hey, can you tell us about yourself?
It's Dustin, but that works too. Alright, so a little bit about me. I worked in law enforcement. It's been about 5 years total, 3 of which have been in corrections, 2, a little over 2 actually, have been in patrol, and I just transferred to detectives. That's a little bit about me. I work for Unified Police Department.
Okay, do you think civilians are scared of law enforcement agencies having military gear?
That's a good question. I would say yes and no. I think it's all about the context. For instance, in the military they wear what are called tac vests, and they have, grenades and things like that hanging off them, and that's really intimidating to the public. So generally agencies don't allow that. In some agencies like New Mexico, that's okay, but out here in Utah we don't really do that because of the appearance. It comes across to the public as abrasive. Like, we are different than military. We're considered paramilitary, which means we're kind of a branch off the military. But we choose not to do that because we want to be as personal with the public as possible.
Yeah. Does your agency use military gear?
Yeah, we are assigned certain gear for, I guess you could say, exigent circumstances. Example is like the M4 rifle the military uses, or M16 rifles. We're all assigned those, and that's really for like rapid deployment situations or really scary situations. Maybe a barricaded person with a gun. We do have a specialty unit called SWAT, which is Special Weapons and Tactics, and they have a lot more military training. They use a lot of the military stuff. In fact, up until recently, we even had an armored vehicle called a Bearcat. They use like tear gas and just a lot of military stuff. But that's a specialty unit. It's not something you're going to see every day. It's only on really high stress, crazy scenarios.
What do you think about having military equipment? Is it beneficial to law enforcement?
I think it is. The reason I say that is, currently we live in a society where things are really unpredictable. You have like school shootings now that used to never be a thing. So in a lot of ways it is beneficial for us to have the equipment to address the new threats. A good example is in LA, they started integrating military equipment when they had that. You've probably seen that movie where the bank robbers rob the bank and they have complete body armor from head to toe. That was a real situation. Okay, maybe you haven't seen it. But that happened in LA, and what had happened is the police were trying to stop these guys, and their bullets were literally just bouncing off them. So they actually had to raid a gun store and get rifles, and so now we're being assigned that. But at the same time, I'd say it's not a good thing, just because if we're walking around with that kind of stuff, it's going to look really scary to the public, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. What's bad about police having military equipment?
I think what's bad is just the public image is probably the biggest concern. We honestly don't need it 9 times out of 10. So it's good to have in your car if things go really, really bad, but most of the time for our general calls, like our domestic violence calls or vandalism or traffic accidents, we don't really need military equipment. And it also, like we said before, looks really intimidating to the public. So that would probably be the bad part about it.
Yeah.
It's also really expensive, so I don't know if necessarily the public would want to fund that.
That kind of equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Any
for having
last
me on the
thoughts?
show. No, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. I'm glad I can help you out.
Alright. Hey, you heard it first on Carlos Dodge's talk show. What's up, class? My uncle Dustin. Hey, can you tell us? Tell us about who you are.
Yeah. So my name is Officer Cordova with Unified Police. I've worked in police for cut.
Hey, what's up, class? Do you think civilians are scared of law enforcement agencies having military equipment?
I would say yes. I think it distorts the public image. I think it's intimidating to the public to see us in military equipment, and that's why. Would you stop?